Welcome to this tutorial on the sign test. Today, we are going to explore a fundamental non-parametric statistical method used to test hypotheses about the median of a population. This test is simple, intuitive, and extremely useful when standard assumptions fail. So, what exactly is the sign test? It is a non-parametric test, meaning it does not rely on data belonging to any particular distribution. It serves as a robust alternative to the one-sample t-test. The key feature here is that we focus solely on the direction, or sign, of the differences between our data and the median, ignoring the actual magnitude of those differences. You should use the sign test when your data meets a few specific criteria. First, the variable must be continuous. Second, your data should come from a random sample. Crucially, unlike many other tests, the population distribution does not need to be symmetric. This makes it different from the t-test, which requires normality. While the sign test is less powerful than the t-test for normal data, it is a lifesaver when data is skewed. Let's set up our hypotheses. The null hypothesis states that the true population median, represented by eta, is equal to a specific hypothesized value, eta 0. The alternative hypothesis claims that the median is different from, greater than, or less than this value. Essentially, under the null hypothesis, there is a 50-50 chance of a value being above or below the median. The procedure is straightforward. First, for every data point in your sample, subtract the hypothesized median. Second, look at the result. If the value is greater than the median, assign a positive sign. If it is less, assign a negative sign. If the value equals the median, simply discard that data point and reduce your sample size, n. Next, we determine our test statistic, as this is typically defined as the count of the less frequent sign. For example, if you have fewer negative signs, you count those. The logic is simple. If the null hypothesis is true, we expect roughly equal numbers of positive and negative signs, just like flipping a fair coin. To understand the math behind this, think of a coin toss. Since the probability of a value being above the median is 0.5, the number of positive signs follows a binomial distribution with probability 0.5. We use this distribution to calculate the probability of seeing our specific result just by chance. Let's look at a concrete example. Imagine a teacher claims the class median score is 75. We sample 10 students to test this claim. Our null hypothesis is that the median is 75. Our alternative is that it is not 75. We have 10 raw scores listed here. We arrange our data in a table. We subtract 75 from each score. 82 minus 75 is plus 7, so we get a positive sign. 68 is minus 7, a negative sign. Note that one student scored exactly 75. We discard this value. In the end, out of 9 valid data points, we have 6 positives and 3 negatives. Now we make a decision. We observed 6 pluses and 3 minuses. Using the binomial distribution for n equals 9, the probability of getting this result, or something more extreme, results in a p-value of roughly 0.5. Since this p-value is much larger than our alpha of 0.05, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. There is no evidence to prove the teacher wrong. What if you have a lot of data? If your sample size is greater than 25, calculating binomial probabilities by hand is tedious. Instead, we use the normal approximation. We calculate a z-score using the formula shown here, which includes a continuity correction of 0.5 to account for the discrete nature of the data. To summarize, the sign test is a versatile non-parametric tool for testing the median. It relies simply on plus and minus signs, making it incredibly robust against outliers and non-normal distributions, even though it sacrifices a bit of statistical power compared to the t-test. It is a great tool to have in your statistical toolkit.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.